Are you ready to prevent some bad business habits? You may be good at your job, but over time, you may have developed some habits that are starting to affect your performance. In this virtual talk, we're going to go over some of the traps that you can fall into and how to make sure it doesn't happen, or you can do a little course correction, get yourself back on track. I'm a professional speaker. I specialize in helping audiences with change and unexpected challenges. And sometimes it can be as simple as changing a bad habit. First thing I want to talk to you about. Sometimes you have a problem at work that is like a weed. If you do nothing about it, it's going to grow and it's going to spread much like a weed would. You need to address these problems as soon as possible because otherwise you're going to pay the consequences later. Sometimes these problems are uncomfortable things to fix, but you really have to take action. There are those problems that you can't ignore. For example, let's say in the office next door, some renovations are taking place during a few-day period. During that time, it's going to be noisy, it might be dusty, but if you just wait out the problem, it'll go away. Other issues, they're like weeds, where if you don't do anything about them, they get worse. Understand the problems that you have, if they fit into the weed category, you have to take action. You can't hope that things will magically get better. I also want to talk to you about thinking about daily things that you need to do to avoid problems. For instance, here, it's brushing your teeth. If you brush your teeth, if you floss, odds are you're not going to get a cavity. If you don't do those things, over time, plaque could build up. You go to the dentist, suddenly you'll be going back to the dentist soon to have a cavity filled or some sort of other problem taken care of. Sometimes for your business, those daily tasks are more like making outreach calls, following up with customers, looking at developing new products for the marketplace. They are things that you need to be committed to on a daily basis. But sometimes you get a little busy, there's a lot going on, and before you know it, you don't have that habit anymore. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You need to follow up. You need to be consistent. If you do those little daily actions, you'll be successful over time. I think it's very important when you're in a competitive business, and let's face it, most of us are, we have competition, you need to run your race. Have you ever run a race like a 5K? And at the very beginning, you thought about how you're going to approach it, your strategy, you're committed to it. But then everyone starts, and there are some people who are going really fast. They might be really good runners, or they might just be too caffeinated and they're running too fast. It's very tempting to follow those runners who are going out super fast rather than going at the right pace for you. What could happen in this race is that you burn out really early and you don't finish strong. If you have a strategy, you believe in your strategy, you got to stick to it. You need to be aware of your competition, but if they do something that's outside of your strategy, don't panic. Don't throw out your strategy. If you believe in it, stick with it. Run your race. Don't undermine yourself based on what other people are doing if you think your strategy is really better. I also want to talk to you about what I call fish stories. Now, sometimes these are about the big fish that got away. In business, people are always talking about, oh, if we could have gotten this account, we were so close to getting it. And sometimes there are the stories about an achievement when you did catch the big fish. But this happened maybe like 8 or so years ago, and you're still talking about it a lot. When something goes well, celebrate it. Be proud of it. But don't hold on to that honor too much, and don't let it keep you from doing things in the future. You may have been named the best workplace in 2017, and that's great. But what have you been doing since then? I realize you can't win the award every year, but are you holding on to a past achievement too much? And is it preventing you from focusing on what you could be doing right now? When we tell these big fish stories, either about the ones that we catch or or the one that got away, sometimes we use them as a stall tactic to avoid making important decisions about today. And those decisions are going to affect your tomorrow a lot more than some sort of success story from the past or a tall tale that you like to tell because it's fun. Focus on your future, not so much on the past. Finally, I want to talk to you about being responsive to people who give you products, to people who loan you money, to your customers. Don't make them wait. If you tell a customer, I'm going to follow up with you before the end of the day, you need to follow up with them before the end of the day. You may not have all the information, but at least contact them to let them know, I'm still working on it, I'll follow up with you soon. Don't give them silence. Silence is very bad for business. During these times, businesses are struggling some with cash flow. So there may be a situation where someone who has given you supplies or some sort of service, you can't pay them. You need to reach out to that person and explain the situation and give them an idea of when they will be paid. Don't give them silence. It's very bad. If you have to deliver bad news, deliver it. Don't make someone wait to get bad news when you're the party that's not holding up your end of the bargain. I know it is uncomfortable to have to call someone and say, I can't pay you right now. But it's what you need to do. It's the right thing to do, and it's good business sense. And as I mentioned before, when it comes to customer service, reach out to people in a timely fashion. Follow up to their questions. Make sure you are giving the type of response that you would want to receive, that you would want your mother to receive. It's just good business sense. Yes, this takes a lot of time, but it's time that's well spent because you're leaving an impression in people's minds. And at a time when you need every competitive edge, don't let this one get away. I have put together a little guide, a little infographic that covers these main topics that we've talked about today. If you'd like to download it, right now I am putting it in the chat box, the download link, so you can get this. Now, if you're watching this talk later on YouTube or through my website, I will also put the link in there so you can download this little cheat sheet. Feel free to share it with other people as well. I want to empower people during this time when a lot of businesses are looking for any edge possible. If you'd like to find out more about me, my name is Ken Okel. I'm a professional speaker. You can learn more about me. Watch some clips of my talks at my website, which happens to be my name, kenokel.com. Want to send me an email? My email is tvguy@kenokel.com. What's that all about? Years ago, I worked in TV news. When I'd be out and about in public, people would often see me. They would recognize me, but they wouldn't remember my name. So they would yell out things like, hey, TV guy, hence the email. And I welcome you connecting with me on LinkedIn. Please let me know where we met so I'm able to realize that you're a legit connection and not someone just wanting to sell me stuff. Appreciate it. I hope these tips have helped you. Little habits can determine our success in business. I want to help you get rid of some of the bad ones so you can focus on all the good stuff that you're doing. I'm Ken Okel. Take care.